So my name is Omar Ambasad. It's 8:21 p.m., June 23rd, 2019. And I just went for a walk and I came back and I tweeted all the harassment that I experienced on my walk. And as soon as I stepped out of the building, the power was turned up on my chest and on my hip. So um, the idea is it's common knowledge by now that people in the area wants me removed because they really think that I'm a prostitute because of the flag that started in the building by whoever. Suspecting that at the time the people who raised the flag was part of the board of directors and some of the rich people from Hong Kong in this building who was actually taking part in these people on the board of directors are no longer there. I'm not sure if they're in the building or not. But I believe that I'm suspecting that one person is not there anymore in the building. But I believe that it is a sex slave operation because I keep getting harassed about Badr Nizar, about my being Badr Nizar's whore. And he espoused me and he had joined me or whatever. And he was a steward and he was looking at me and he was masturbating with me. And there was all these other names as well, people from the workplaces. So as I was walking just now, all these names are being called by Chinese kids, mostly Chinese kids. There's a playground along the path, and I tweeted about it. And they were shouting these things like really loudly. Also, people in their backyards talking about this. Apparently, I'm this big, huge criminal uh, who used to be a prostitute and now really is a prostitute because all these men were living with me and the Chinese flagged me and from the building and all these people were counter-indicating me and remotely and they're living with me and they're masturbating with me. So now I'm a real prostitute. Well, I'm waiting for the writ because apparently from the comments I'm hearing, I am going to have to explain all the all the verbalizing inside of my unit. Well, here's the explanation. These signals that I have recorded is used to torture and cause pain. It's also used to hit your head and to incite anger. So when your head is hit and the power is turned up, it actually triggers anger, and that anger has to be dealt with. And one way to deal with it is verbalization, which is exactly what I do. So don't carry weapons. Don't believe in violence. I believe in the power of the cell phone and social media to get what's going on exposed. If anybody, any cop has evidence, quote unquote evidence, that the Chinese traffickers have provided them based on set up frames and lies and instigated situations, and have decided that they're going to charge me one more time after almost dying in custody the last time, and still having fallouts and on all the stress that's being caused because there are new envelopes and new flags that's constantly being put on the system and next to my name, causing all of the stress that I'm talking about. Feel free. You can put a charge on the books. Absolutely, go ahead and do that. I just explained the verbalizing. There is no mental illness. I am being targeted. The people who initially flagged me are traffickers. They flagged me to be trafficked, and that's exactly what was done. The cops who were involved in that flagging back then, who started it, were also traffickers. They are dirty cops who are trafficking. As I said before, this is exactly what I suspect was being done to Rohini Besasa. She was made homeless. She said she was hearing voices in the head. Well, I think it was Chinese technology, much like what Helen Curdin was talking about, who lived in the same area. And she was living in a house owned by Chinese people, and she was being harassed by Chinese people by these technologies, remote technologies, laser-based microwaves. And the police, the cops that she talked to, admitted that it is going on. So it is going on. So these are the signals. So that's the explanation. There is no mental illness. Absolutely no mental illness. There is a conspiracy to have me criminalized, which was already tried. There is a conspiracy to have me mentally committed because I am exposing this trafficking ring. I'm standing up to it. I'm exposing it. And I refuse to shut up. So the power is turned up, causing excruciating pain. And when it's aimed at your head, it will incite anger. And at certain frequencies will actually make you pass out, make you look depressed when really you're not. When you're hit on while you're sleeping, it's going to cause all kinds of sleep deprivation symptoms and all kinds of other health issues. So I heard the bladder is being affected. So my bladder and my hip area had the power turned up as I was walking. The idea is I'm not allowed to walk because I'm supposed to be this huge criminal, prostitute, sex slave, whatever, sex slave because I was passed around and still is being passed around. Nobody wants me out in the area because I'm supposed to be this hugely criminal person. Well, I'm not. And this sex slavery and sex slave rings are being run in Canada all the time. It's been done for years and years and years. In my case, it's been done publicly. It's been done covertly for years. Rohini Besasar's case was done covertly, quietly, privately, until she started talking. And then she was disposed of. This is what I'm suspecting happened. Well, I'm talking publicly because in my case, it's been done publicly. So all efforts are being made to dispose of me. So there is your explanation. Feel free to charge me if you like. I am absolutely, I'm not a threat to anybody in this building. My goal is to stop the trafficking, is to stop the targeting. I am being targeted. I am being harassed. I'm being sexually harassed by the remarks being made around me. Kids are making it. I'm recording it. This is the cause for post traumatic stress symptoms, which I have. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm out of control. Verbalization is a really excellent way of dealing with that stress, which I do all the time. So the fear mongering that's going on at 25 Bamberg Circle in Toronto and the area, surrounding area, in the Steeles and Warden area, McNichol and Warden area, where I go walking and I get shouted at all the time. This is terrorization, domestic terrorization, and it causes an enormous amount of stress, which is going to end up in court. The people who are shouting at me is going to end up in court for post-traumatic stress that's caused. People in this building who are shouting at me and is triggering me intentionally. Post-traumatic stress disorder, the symptoms of lost wages because this is in my workplaces. Feel free to charge me by all means. Serve the writ, serve the warrants, whatever you think you need to serve. But you have an explanation for your writs and your warrants and your charges. Now, people like Badr Nizar, people like Chandra Rahman, people like Pad, people like Jim Gord in this building, the neighbors who live next to me around my unit, these people are all trafficking. They are subcontracting to people who are looking at me inside of my home share. These people are living with me. I heard a member of the board of directors was with me all day. Whether it's true or not, that's illegal surveillance and that's voyeurism and sexual harassment. So this is what's going on at 25 Bamberg Circle. I can't go for a walk without being harassed, and the power is turned up on me. Microwave harassment is attempted murder. It's simple as that. Talk to you another time.